All right, I'm looking at another weekly Squardle. First of all, there are some new settings, so check that out if you haven't seen those. I'm gonna turn on the bigger sized hints and the lower opacity for the hidden hints. The creator of the game let me know that that would probably be a good thing to try, since it might make it easier for people watching to be able to see things. All right, so let me know what you think of the new options. By the way, all of the new options are off by default. None of the settings have been changed. You'll have to go in and actually change the settings because, you know, people don't like when things all of a sudden are different. So this is weekly Squardle number 100, and kind of crazy that we've done that many of them now, but if you're not familiar with Squardle, this is like Wordle, but it's on a grid. We're guessing a row and a column at the same time. The weekly one, it just has more words. This 8 is how many guesses we have left, and since it's number 100, I'm gonna start with cents, because that's the best thing I could think of that's related to 100, and we'll just see what we can get from there. Okay, well, no C, no N, interesting. The clues are bigger. So, yeah, you have to let me know on video if you like the bigger clues or not. Now, I can see how eventually if we get a lot of clues in the grid, it could get crowded, but I don't think we usually get enough that it's too big of a problem. So there is the T and the S in the column, T in the row, so we could do a T here. There's an E in the first and second rows, but not the first or second column, which is interesting. Other than that, we don't really know much, so we just probably want to do, you know, a word with 5 new letters, maybe? We could do large, which is gonna repeat the E. There is an E in the second row, not in the column, but in the second row, and E at the, you know, at the end is usually pretty good, so we'll kind of check the row and column. Let's go for that. Okay, the A was good. There is an E down here. There's an R, a G, and an E in this word, so, but, G-E-R? Oh, this is supposed to be a G. Oh, but that makes me think logger. Oh, we could do wager. Wager's pretty good. TW isn't bad here. We could do something like twist. It's pretty good. Now this word would start with I then, and it has an R. The R is not second or third. But I don't know. I mean, you could do an R here and have a double R. That's possible, something like arrow. But, I mean, it's possible. We don't really have much to go on for the column, so I guess let's go with something there. We could do, man. My first thought was incur, but there's no N or C. Infer, but again, there's no N. Do icier, no C. We could do idler. There is an L somewhere, and it's not in the first or second row or column. That's not terrible. Let's go with that. Yes. All right. That's what we need. We need a lucky guess somewhere. Okay. That was great. All right. Oh, and there's a D, which makes me think down here an LED. ED would be good. But with the G, if this is wager, the G is there. What's that gonna be? Ogled? Ogled? I don't know how to say that word. I think ogled. Either way, that's a word. That could work. Okay. So then we need an E. This could be, well, I was thinking arrow, but if we put an A here, then the E has to be there. And that doesn't really work. What about error? Error. Nope, there can't be an R at the end. Ooh. Could still be aired. We need an E in this row. We could do an E there, something like this. Maybe an R up here? Trope or trove or something. What's this gonna be? T. I don't know. I don't know what this would be. It would have to be a vowel. But I don't know. Let's get rid of the EDs. I'm not convinced. But we need an E. Yeah, we need an E though. So do the E. This is gonna have a lot of E's then in this word. Could this be an O? Something. Oop. Oh, I was gonna say radio. S-I-E, siege. No, there's no. Seize? Ooh, what would this be? I don't know if I like that. No, I don't like that. All right. Well, let's go back. Let's go back. I like wager. I like twist. I like ogled. But what are we gonna do? We could have an E at the end here, but the double R is what's throwing me off there. Because I don't think we can do arrow. It feels like it's gotta be aired, but then this has to be an E then. What if it's not wager? What if the R is over here? And it's not twist. And this could be D? It doesn't really make anything. It doesn't help at all, does it? But this could still be rager instead of wager. We don't know that that's a W. But we do need an S, and if it's not ST, which it can't be, then I don't think the S is second. So I think this is an S. So the W is good. I like twist, but I don't know what this is. What about, I had siege. What about sieve and trope and peeve? Radio, but then what's toted? It could be radii, but then tided isn't, I mean, it's not much better. I guess at least tide is a word. Tided, can you tide something? Tide, you can tide someone over. Oh, there's like, so there's the tide is in the water, you know, the tide, but you can also tide, like, I'm gonna eat this to tide me over until I get to supper time. Maybe? All right, well, so either way, we've already got the E for both of them. So either way, we're not getting much here. So I'm tempted to go with the rows, because if these are right, we can just do the 4 rows. If I do the column, then we get into more trouble because we've already got, so I'm gonna try sieve. So now here's the real trick. The real test is right now, because tided, is that a real word? These other ones have very few options, right? So I feel like the T, the D, and the D have to be right, and I don't, it's tooted, but then the other problem is, of course, we've got the ADI, so even if you get rid of the R up here, this has to be a vowel, clearly, to fit between the T and the D. So, and I think it's radio and radii, that's all I can think of. Yeah, I think it's gotta be. I'm gonna go with tided. I don't know. I guess it could be a word. All right, are we on track for a 9? We might be on track for a 9. Let's not get too far ahead of ourselves here. All right, so let's do trope. Now this should get us some more bonus guesses. We're at 7. Now I think, so this word will finish 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 words. And I think you get all but 2? Is that right? Yeah, you get all but 2. So we'll lose 1 by using a guess, which will take us to 6. We'll get back 3, which will take us to 9. We're gonna end with a 9, which is a great way to do Weekly Squirtle number 100. I've been trying to get it. I've had a 9 once or twice before. I think twice. And I've been trying to get it again for a while. So to get number 100 in a 9, wow. Well, Idler was a really lucky guess. And man, tided is such a weird word. And ogled is a little weird, but all right, well, there you go. We've done 100 weekly Squirtles now and ended with a 9, so can't be mad about that. So Trope, Wager, Idler, Civ, Tided, Twist, Radii, Ogled, Peeve, and Aired. Man, interesting words. So let me know how you did on this puzzle, which word you had the hardest time with. Have you ever heard of Tided before? I mean, it kind of makes sense. I understand what it means. I don't know that I ever used that as a past tense word before. I guess it tided him over? Maybe, I suppose. I don't know. It just seems strange to me when I thought of it. But anyways, there you go. Let me know how you did on this weekly Squirtle and how many guesses you had left at the end. And of course, be sure to like and subscribe. And I'll see you again soon with some more puzzles.
How are you actually doing this without the modern things that we had?
Yeah, not even be able to, trigonometry and calculating your angles and all that stuff that we're used to doing, yeah.
Yeah, and it brings up the question of like, what is education?
And idled and hired. Wow, Cacti and Chica. Okay, I think that works. All right, so we're back to the beginning now. Oh, it's not umps. Oh no, I should have done the umps. Okay. Okay, good. So now we know that the spangram goes from left to right. HT isn't there, that's not bad. This could be a G then. Gadget, okay, there we go. Now we're on the right track, yep. Be droid, I think. Oh, it's not droid.